Hello, worldly crazy people out there. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games, and today we're going to be back to making games. I have not gotten to do nearly as much of this in recent days as I really would have liked to. Basically, every time I think about sitting down to record one of these wizard game videos, I also think that I could sit down to record like a regular game maker video, and most of the time that takes priority. But anyway, we'll see how much we're able to get done. Today, I'd like to take on something that I've been putting off for kind of a while, and that is going to be if I go over here, NPCs walking around on their own. So I thought about this. There's usually the way that you would have NPCs walking around and navigating in a 3D environment is using something called Navmeshes, which are basically like a special kind of triangle mesh that you can use to do pathfinding on. This knitter did make a nav mesh system for Game Maker. And I thought about using it for this, but I then decided that I'm just going to try and keep it a little bit simpler and use regular old A-star pathfinding. Navmeshes generally do use like you could call them a specialized version of A-star pathfinding, but I think I'm going to just be going with something a little bit simpler. I'm just going to plop down a bunch of nodes in every map. I'm going to connect them. And I'm just going to have the NPCs like navigate across the node network, and hopefully that'll require less setup than doing a proper nav mesh system. Well, this may or may not blow up in my face horribly later. So this here is basically an A-star implementation for Game Maker that I threw together a while ago. I intended on using this in another project a while ago, but I don't think I ever actually got around to it. So we're gonna try and use it now. I'm just going to go and, let's see, I'm just going to go and download my own project, and we'll grab the YYNPS, and we'll toss that in the game. Let's see, drag and drop that into the IDE, yes please. We can go and, work for the project tool to do its thing. I don't need the demo project, I just need the pathfinding asset, which is just a single code file. I think it's like 2 classes and like a lot of code. This is what it looks like for anyone who's never seen A-star before. Also, in case anyone's wondering, Game Maker's MP grids are also kind of a specialized, optimized version of A-star. In A-star, in the general sense, you have a collection of points and you can connect them however you want. And MP grids are basically that, but like by default, all points will be connected to their adjacent points, and there are some assumptions that you can make about that allow you to skip some computation. Anyway, that's A-star. You know, I kind of feel like since the example I used for this is like a map of the United States, and like it's sort of weirdly, blatantly patriotic, I feel like that's going to raise a couple more eyebrows now in the current political landscape than it would have when I wrote this back in like 2021, I think. Anyway, that's fun. So I haven't set this up to work with like my Unity map export system yet. I'm going to do that eventually, probably on my own, because it's probably going to be kind of boring and just like copying a lot of properties verbatim to the JSON file that I have Unity spit out. But I think the way that I'll do this is, where is obj_game? So if I go into the obj_game create event, this is going to be something that I think I'm going to want to attach to every map. So like, whenever I load a map, I want to erase the pathfinding network and like recreate a new one. But we'll get to that in a bit. Let's see, Aquila, which is a constellation for the eagle, in case anyone was wondering. This is the data structure as a whole, right? And like I can just say add node and remove node and connect nodes and that sort of thing. And then it should, if everything goes according to plan, it should just handle it internally. Let's see. So I think I can say... Man, how do I want to do this? Okay, let me actually hard code a bunch of points just in the map, and I'm going to do that by basically standing in certain locations, and if keyboard check pressed VK enter, I'll just print out the player's XYZ position. And it's going to be a struct, right? Like position.x, position.y, position.z, right? Oh no, it's just XYZ. And I'm just going to do this so that I can grab like a list of points where it might make sense to put pathfinding nodes. I'm going to grab myself a sheet of paper, and I'm going to try and just like draw a rough sketch of the map. And I'll, let's see, if I hit enter like here, that's going to be 92, negative 130, 92, 0, negative 130. If I go here, that's going to be 194, 0. I could probably just omit the z-axis because for the time being they're all going to be 0. I mean the y-axis, negative 122. Again, when I get to designing levels for real, I definitely will 232, 0, 258. I definitely will actually create like a visual way to do this in the Unity scenes. This one's going to be 107, negative 0, so we've got some weird floating point shenanigans there, and 263. I kind of want to have something going through all these. And I don't know if I'll have like direct collision avoidance with these blocks, but that's something we can think about. Negative 102, 0, 221. Started climbing up that one. Good to know that that system still works. Negative 107, 410. And one more just like out here. 165, 0, 442. Alright, so I'm gonna hard code these into the game. And I'm going to connect them together. Okay, so what I have now done, so we've got the pathfinding network. We've got a series of points just as vector 3s, which I'm going to use to represent like these things spatially, because like nodes in a pathfinding grid don't necessarily have to have any concept of like a spatial position. I'm going to create a series of nodes based on those positions, and I'm going to connect. I'm going to create, I believe this is a total of 9 connections. So 1, 2, 1, 5, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, and 7, 3. I'll draw like a little map and put it on screen. The distance between basically the cost to go between each of those nodes is going to be just the distance, physical space, and they're going to be bidirectional, so they work in both directions. Alright, if I just run this now, hopefully that will not crash the game or anything. Very nice. Should probably commit this change. Added Aquila stuff. Next, I'm going to need... I think I can get this paper off my desk. Next, I'm going to need a way that NPCs can actually, like, interact with this. So... if I go to, what is it, OBJ NPC, OBJ character, something like that? OBJ NPC. Alright, so what I'm going to have them do when they try to start navigating is I'm going to try to have them search for the nearest one. Because, again, we're not working with Navmeshes, so we don't have the concept of, like, the interior of a triangle and pathfinding here. So I'm just going to kind of cheat and have the NPCs look for the nearest one of these waypoints, and when they try to start walking somewhere, they'll first just walk towards the nearest waypoint. I'll do some checks to make sure that like they have a line of sight. Like if the nearest waypoint is on the other side of the wall, obviously you don't want them to just walk through the wall. But they'll go to the nearest waypoint that they have a line of sight to. They will pathfind across the network to the nearest point that the destination has a line of sight to. That will generate basically an array of nodes that they can walk towards, and then it's just a matter of following the path. So, I'm gonna give NPCs a method that says something like, get nearest pathfinding waypoint. All right, yeah, I almost had second thoughts there, but yeah, that's what I'll do. So, firstly, get nearest pathfinding waypoint. So this, in the long run, should be some better way of having like sorting all of the waypoints by distance and then checking for the line of sight. But to start off with, we're gonna brute force it. So we're going to just iterate over every single one of these waypoints. We're going to check if the nearest waypoint... I don't think I spelled that right. I don't think I spelled this right, actually. If the nearest waypoint is undefined, nearest equals choices index I, else... Feather, why don't you like this? Oh, no, we're not using the nullish operator there. If the nearest, basically so the location, the actual vector 3 in space is going to be nearest.data, because that's what, like, the parameter to the Aquila node gets attached to. And we can say if, should I keep track of nearest distance too? Of our nearest distance equals, let's initialize this to infinity. If point distance 3D from our xyz to location.x, location.y, location.z, if that is less than the nearest distance, then we'll want to say nearest equals choices index I, and then we'll also want to like update the nearest distance. I don't feel like writing that out twice, so we'll save that to a variable. And then at the end return nearest. So that's going to allow us to figure out the nearest node to wherever we are. I'm also going to want a way to actually have NPCs like walk there. NPCs currently don't have a state system, and I kind of want to keep it that way. At least the player and some other objects use snow state, which is my big fancy, well, not mine, but a big fancy state system, which allows you to like handle transitions and enter and leave callbacks and that sort of thing. But I don't think NPCs, I want to keep this a little bit on the simpler side. I don't think NPCs really need that. Let's commit this. Lame implementation of NPC nearest waypoint. I judge my own code. And we'll also have in the NPC target, actually, I'll call it pathfinding. This may be an array of nodes that the NPC will walk to. And then something like in the in one of the NPC's step event, we can like we can have the NPC evaluate a path. I would, however, like to say, if keyboard check pressed, click on the enter key again. We'll say pathfinding equals just an array of 1, and it's going to be get nearest pathfinding waypoint. And we'll just have the NPC walk towards the nearest pathfinding waypoint. Actually, let me go into the step event. Does the player have a step event? The player doesn't really have a step event. Alright, well. Why am I so averse to using the regular step event? I have no idea. Anyway, so we'll start by just printing out the, oh, you know what? I probably want to also disable. I'm going to get a couple of messages in there, aren't I? I'm probably going to want to disable the player's, like, location printout. So, there's 2 NPCs in here, and we got 2 different results, and, let's see. I'll, for the time being, I'll keep both of those in here, just so that I can watch them walk to the nearest waypoint, whatever that happens to be. And I reasonably convinced that that's working. We can say if array, we can say if pathfinding is not equal to undefined. So if we have a path that we're going to try and walk to, target is going to be pathfinding index 0 dot data. What would be the least annoying way to just take a step in that direction? If I say dx equals self.x minus, or it should be target.x minus self.x, var dy equals target.y minus self.y, var dz equals target.z minus self.z. Y is kind of irrelevant because y is the up vector, and we're not going to have these guys jumping up and down anytime soon. Say var dist equals point distance 0, 0 dx dz. We can say dx divided by equals distance for basically normalized vector. And then we can multiply that by our target speed. So what is the speed that NPCs like to walk at? Do I have anything like that? What is x speed, y speed set to? In the player, for instance. Alright, so in the player, speed run is 300 and speed walk is 180, multiplied by the time step. We can... let's multiply dx divided by distance and multiply that by... actually, no, we should say dx times equals speed walk times dt, and then... same thing for DZ. And that'll give us a step in a direction. I think this will have them bounce around the target when they actually get there. Because we're not actually doing anything to tell them to stop when they get there. And we'll just keep moving. And then classic problem when it comes to moving towards a target. Let's see if I hit space or if I hit enter. Okay, I don't know why you chose that one, but you indeed are bouncing around that target. That's actually really weird. I don't know why that's not working. Of all the things I expected to break, it wasn't this one. Alright, I'll have to debug that later. But anyway, we can say if dist is less than... You know what I can do? I can just multiply, because these aren't statics now. I can just multiply the speed run and speed walk by the time step. You can't use statics in object events, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, because if we could do that, I would be running a lot of spaghetti code. But if distance is less than speed walk, we can do something, and if distance is greater than or equal to speed walk, actually I should have that be less than or equal to. So if the distance is less than the walk speed, our dx and dz are just going to be the distance, and if not, we're gonna like clamp the distance that we can move by the walk speed. So that should take care of one of the problems. Not sure about the other problem. So if we stand here, I wonder if like I messed up a like a coordinate somewhere. Oh, you know what I'm not doing? I think I see a logic error in here. There could always be more, but I'm not actually setting nearest distance here, and our nearest distance is never getting reset, and we were using the wrong location when we were testing it. So this should have them actually run towards the correct points. All right. I think the first one just arrived at the correct destination kind of by accident. And I see that they can't pile up on top of each other. I was hoping that you were going to be far enough off to the side that you would move towards this one. It's a good thing that that the one went to the wrong point and didn't arrive at the correct one by accident, because otherwise I might not have noticed for a very long time. Anyway, can I go and initialize an NPC at a different location though? So if I say like 0 on the X, will that have you run towards the other one? No? Wonder if that's a separate logic error. You also did like slide around the seesaw base, which is good, because that's something that I didn't tell you to do, but I was hoping that you would anyway. Wow, is there a second logic error in there? Where is... Oh, I'm still not setting nearest distance equal to the test distance. Good job, me. I found the errors. I didn't actually fix them. Alright, now they're going to the correct locations. Good. What was this about? This was about, this is really two things. This is one, fix nearest waypoint finding, and two, I don't know if that's going to be the biggest of deals, because eventually I'm probably going to replace that code anyway for a proper, more robust way of figuring this out. More importantly, NPCs can move towards a waypoint. So what we're going to do next is, if you arrive at your destination, which would be if the distance is less than or equal to speed underscore walk, array remove, array delete, self.pathfinding, index 0, 1, and if array length if there are no more nodes in the pathfinding list, we'll just set the pathfinding list to undefined, and then at that point you're done, and you'll be able to cancel like moving towards a target at any point just by setting the pathfinding array to undefined. Let's see. I think the next thing I'm going to do is when you hit the enter key for debugging purposes, we'll pick a random node that we can walk to, and we'll have NPCs randomly path towards towards one of these, and we can save our target equals we'll use the choose function here, which will draw a random element from the parameter list, and we'll say start equals the nearest waypoint, target equals we're going to choose one randomly. It's possible that the system will choose the start and the target to be the same points, but 1 out of 7. And to actually calculate the path, we're going to call Aquila.navigate with a source, a destination. That's going to return one of these, which is going to have like a little struct with the array of stops, the array of waypoints, just a number of like the number of stops and the total cost of the route. These two aren't going to be relevant to us. We only really care about the route in this case. We can say path equals obj game.aquila.navigate from our start to our target. We can say self.pathfinding equals path dot, what was it, route? Yeah, path dot route, or route if you're from here in New Jersey. And I believe that's going to be it. So they're not going to like animate walking or anything. Maybe I can deal with that next. But if I hit enter, the game is either going to crash, it's going to either do what I want it to, or it's going to break in some weird and bizarre way. Alright, it didn't crash. And they got stuck on each other. Okay, you know what? I think I can not have 2 NPCs now, because when they pile up on each other, that's not like well behaved. Let's have you pathfind towards something. So you randomly decided to go here, like approximately. Where are you going, sir? Oh, you know what I'm not doing is I'm not setting the speed to 0 when you reach your destination. You could like look towards this node, see that you have a line of sight to it, and just go there, but you're not. That's probably also something I should do. That'll probably not be in this video though. That'll probably be in the next one. Sir. All right, you know what? This is difficult when I'm not having you stop. An NPC begin step. If the distance is less than, let's say if this is like less than or equal to like 0.1, some nominally small distance, we can say dx equals 0, dz equals 0. Else, if distance is less than the walk speed, we can leave the dx dz alone. Else we can actually set the dx dz, because it's really kind of weird when you just zip past the waypoints like that. All right, so you're gonna walk, and you're. Hello? Was I in the way? All right, is everything in the way? This is backfiring in weird ways. Can I turn off collision for NPCs? Let me just turn off collision for NPCs. Let me just uncomment all this. And like, if NPCs aren't able to navigate because there's stuff in the way, that's kind of a level design problem. All right, still not working. Don't know where you're going. All right, this is actually just like completely broken. You know what? I don't think this is actually ever going to run, because if distance were less than or equal to 0.1 or some nominally small amount, that would require that this is also run, and this would like unset the possibly unset the path. So we're gonna have you these both can have you stop, but also I'm going to say let's state this in the positive. If there is no pathfinding, we'll set our x speed and z speed to 0, and if there is a path, if your pathfinding happens to take you like right on top of a node, then we'll just stop within that tolerance. If you are closer than your walk speed, you'll also, I mean, you won't stop, but you won't do like a speed check or anything. And yeah. All right, let's see if that makes things better or makes things worse, or makes things stay the same, which is also a possibility. All right, so you actually stopped there that time. So that seems to have been the problem, because now you're behaving. All right, you decided to go there. Where do you want to go now? All right, come on, pick one that's like farther away. All right. So you picked the one all the way off in that corner. This would be more exciting if there are more than just like a couple of nodes, but we seem to have pathfinding. All right. I should probably comment this. Okay. So that is pathfinding itself behaving correctly. We probably will still have issues with collision because this is a very cluttered environment, and I don't expect pathfinding to work well there if objects are getting like stuck on each other. I'm gonna leave that commented out for now. How long has this video been going on for? So I've been recording for 48 minutes, probably like 35. I'm gonna say once I cut out some of the goofing off, maybe 30. So I was gonna do a few other things, but I don't want this to go on for too obnoxiously long. So let me go and check off navigation waypoints. I think I can definitively say, all right, fine. Actually, this also has some. This suggests that I should actually set up like at least a Unity map import to work with this before I check it off. So maybe I won't do that now. But we have set up NPC navigation, which is pretty good, and we've done like half of this. Oh, random walk. I forgot about that. That would be cool. That shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. There's a lot of things when it comes to like enemy AI that drive me crazy, but hopefully that shouldn't be too bad. Waypoints should also be named so that they can be identified in the game. Anyway, I think next video I'm going to have the Unity map import set up, and we'll work on a slightly nicer interface for just having NPCs walk around from waypoint to waypoint. Whether that be as part of like a cutscene script, whether that be as like a random walk or something like that. And I'll also just have some nice quality of life improvements, such as having NPCs like actually animate when they walk around. So I think that's gonna do it for today. My name is Michael. I like Wizards and Dragons and making games. If you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository down in the description of the video. This will be the 0.46 tag. I know I said I was gonna do this video like 2 months ago. Hopefully the next one won't be another 2 months from now. Anyway, you should all go check out Wizarducks and the Lost Hat, which is one of the games that I like to work on when I'm not doing YouTube stuff. Link to the Steam page can be found down below. I like to post videos on weird stuff you can do in Game Maker, such as basically all of this. So if any of this appeals to you, feel free to subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Zenjamin, Squarecrow, Spy Dog Games, Manta Ray, Game Maker, Game Art Indie, Edward Holt, and DJ Gibbles for supporting these videos. If you want to contribute to the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.